All right. Well, I think we can get this party started. Let me see. I do not do this live stuff very often, so I do apologize. I didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it. If you know, you know. All right. Let's get some audio and video check. I'm getting YouTube Studios complaining I'm not sending enough. Somebody in the chat could hop in there. Let me know. See if we can make sure that we're all good here. Definitely does look like some lower quality videos getting out there. I don't know what's going on. Got everything set to spec. So, yeah, let's see here. Still not, says it's not getting enough. This is so weird. And you guys are probably getting buffering and stuff on that end, right? Yeah, let me see what we can do here. It's so weird. Earlier the video was streaming up fine. What can you do? Anyone? Anyone out there? Want to give me a little chat action? All right. Well, I still show a ton of drop frames going on, so I have no idea what the deal is here. I don't know. Maybe this wasn't cut out to be today. I don't know. This is so weird. I am trying here, people. But I do not. All right, we're going to give this one more go, and we're still having trouble. I'm going to just end it. All right, so let me see if I can get back to this. Give me just a minute, folks. I apologize. Live is not my thing. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Okay. All right, well, I've got like, it says like 10% of drop frames. Okay, well, yeah, let's see. My chat, folks, let me know. What do we got going on? It says excellent condition here. Oh, okay. All right, well, listen, maybe we're okay here after all. All right. Nah, it says it's going to start buffering again. I mean, I'm not even sending over that much. This is all pretty straightforward stuff here. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's like I just can't keep up. Did a full reboot. I did a speed test. Everything's supposedly fine. But I cannot get this thing to work. At least not behave anyway. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's still buffering. I don't know. Maybe we'll end up doing this another time. I'm really pissy that this isn't working right, though. I do not get it. All right. Let's see how we're doing now. This is my last attempt. I turned everything down. I cut every corner that I could. Let's see how we're doing here. Last check, folks. Last check in the live chat. See how we're doing. Love to be able to do something with this today. Okay, it says I've got an excellent stream going, so we should be okay for those who managed to stick around. And hopefully you did. Why is my live chat down there? Okay, well, I see that we have an excellent stream, so we're going to go ahead and stick with it. We'll see if everything behaves. Got 4% of drop frames, so we're doing better here. I changed to an AV1 output instead of 264, so maybe that has something to do with it. I'll go back and look at all the settings and see if I can avoid such travesty in the future, but we're here now. So it says I've got 8 concurrent viewers, so if you're here, welcome. We do have a live chat going on, as you can see right up there. And we're using the new Facecam 4K, but of course I've had to scale down to 1080p for the stream. I don't know what's going on. Next time before I do one of these, I'll reboot the router, I'll reboot all the switches, reboot the computer yet again, and we'll see what we do. So hopefully everyone's having a good time, good holiday time. So let me see. Scott, I keep forgetting it's up here. Yeah, so you're the guy that they're making the Steam machine for, right? Makes sense. Dock to the deck, 1080p to TV to play games. Oh yeah, you're that guy. Listen, I spent about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours yesterday trying to figure out why people like you are excited about lossless scaling. And honestly, I haven't figured it out, because if you talk to anybody in the know, right, they'll tell you that it's basically, at least on the Steam Deck, it's BS. It's snake oil. And so I started digging. I did some research, and why are people snobby about the performance level? Well, let me tell you. So here's the deal. Like when Steam Deck first came out, performance wasn't as important. Well, yeah, it was. Never mind. But they had some really crazy heavy hitters that came out when the Steam Deck was released, right? So they had Elden Ring, right? That was like the hot game, and it was going to run day one on Steam Deck. They had advanced shader caches made. It was literally the most anticipated, hottest game out there, and bang, the Steam Deck ran it like a champ. And everybody basically said there's no way the Steam Deck's going to run it. Well, they proved everybody wrong. But, we're 3 years in now? And the machine was even a few years before that they started developing, right? So we're on 5-6 year old technology here. So people are understandably concerned that the deck may not be able to hold up, and the Steam Deck by direct correlation may not be appropriate. But listen, the Steam Deck is almost good enough, right? Like it's almost good enough to run like Unreal Engine 5 games. It's almost good enough to run some of this new stuff. But if you're talking about the Steam machine being 6 times more powerful, right? I mean, come on. The Steam Deck is almost powerful. Make it double, right? Look at the other handhelds that are out today that people are getting all excited about. Legion Go S, yada, 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 ROG Ally, Xbox. Everyone's talking great stuff about them, but they're not going to be anywhere near as powerful as the Steam Deck. The Steam machine will be. So I'm not worried about the Steam machine. People are all crying and whining about, there's only 8 gigabytes of VRAM. This is a travesty. Dude, they built it to spec where it is at least as good as 70% of Steam players. So I'm trying to find a way to be concerned about it, but I'm not. But as for the lossless scaling thing, so for many of us, we play games that require a heavy amount of Twitch gaming, right? So if you follow this channel, I play Arc Raiders, I play Overwatch, I play Marvel Rivals, I used to be a big Call of Duty fan. So for me, input latency is absolute nonsense, right? So we can't have input latency at all when you're playing games like that. If you're playing a visual novel and you're getting 60 millisecond lag, who cares? But if you're playing Overwatch and you have 60 millisecond lag, you're going to get shot in the head before you even hear the Widowmaker's call out. So that's not good. That's not good enough, right? So with this, yeah, enjoy my dogs. This is what I live with. So anyway, so yeah, the whole concept of lossless scaling and fake frames. Now listen, I'm not just picking on lossless scaling or the current implementation on the Steam Deck. I look at it for all of these fake frame generators, right? There's two problems with it. One, it introduces latency. And so isn't it funny that like NVIDIA like sort of created this fake frame generation and then 2 seconds later released low latency, or what do they call it? Reflex latency, low level support. So it's like, okay, we understand we screwed up. Now we're going to give you another technology to help fix the screw up that we did. So instead of everybody being happy with a nice solid, rock solid 60 frames per second with like 1 millisecond latency, now we're introducing these AI frame gens and tween frame generations and all this other stuff. And listen, you can't make stuff in between frames and not have it affect your input. I mean, it's simple. If you look at it on paper, just start sketching it out and walking through it, right? If you have a game that is 15 frames per second, let's say 10 frames per second. Let's just make it an easy number. That means in 100 milliseconds, you get 10 frames. So every time you add more frames to that, right, you're increasing the amount of lag between the two real frames. So it takes exponentially, it gets bigger and bigger in between your input and what happens on the screen. Yeah, listen, again, certain games, it doesn't matter. And in many cases, you can literally take a 60 or 80 or 90 frame per second game, apply this sort of frame generation to it, get 120 frames, and you'll never see it, right? I mean, you'll never notice the disparity of it because you're already running something that's got good, high-quality performance. Like if the Steam Deck game was running at 60, rock solid 60 frames per second, and you wanted to use lossless scaling to make it 90 for your OLED, you'll probably never notice it. But go take a game like Cleared Hot here, and take a look at that game. That game is a complete freaking mess. I released a video on this earlier in the week. This game is a mess, and if you go and turn on frame gen, it is still a mess. I mean, there's no way to fix this, and this is the way it is with a lot of these games. Listen, some people, as long as it says 60 FPS, they're happy at the top. But it didn't work out. So that's kind of what I'm down about. I want to emulate Pac-Man VR with Steam Frame. Now, which Pac-Man VR are we talking about here? We're talking about, I don't know. I'm not even sure what Pac-Man VR is. Once Facebook bought Quest and turned VR into a Facebook joint, I got out of the game. See, that's the thing. You value graphic fidelity, but you'll put up with frame gen? Have you seen the demo? There's a great demo on... there's a great demo I saw. Let me see if I can dig it up, because you're going to love this. Let's see if I can find it. This was really good. This really showed a lot. Let me see. What was it? Dang it. It was a great demo. Let's see if I can dig it up. Let's see. I'm looking. Hang on. Give me a minute. Because if you're into image fidelity, you shouldn't be doing any sort of auto generation at all. None, zero, zilch. No upscaling, no frame generation. You should be wanting to run as native as possible with no frame tweening at all. That's my opinion. Because I saw what this looked like. Hang on. I'm going to find it. And I'll share it with you guys, because this really kind of showed what we're talking about here. Let's see if I can find, let's see. was too busy researching why Allison Mack was getting a platform after she was, taking people in as sex slaves. It's nutty stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Officially released. Yada. Oh, here we go. Perfect. I found it. Let me share this up here. I actually was planning for this, so. All right, so let me share. Let me turn this on. Okay, so this guy actually did a very specific tutorial. So in this case, so they start off at the top by showing you what 60 FPS native looks like, right? Now take a look here. I mean, listen, you're seeing a scale of a scale of a scale of a scale. So I apologize, but you're not going to, there's one little piece of this I can show you that'll make sense. So you see this 60 FPS. I'll tell you what, I'll drop this in the chat so that you guys can look at it yourself. Hang on, I got a billion freaking windows open here. Sorry. So if you take a look at this guy, and then it shows what it looks like when you start going from 20 to 60, 15 to 60, and you're basically using that lossless scaling generation. And check this out. I find this very interesting. Let me see here. Let me find one that's very demonstrative. So if you take a look at this, if you watch over here, this is the easy thing to see. Look at how it's just destroying the graphics here. That's frame gen at work. That's what happens when it's guessing frames in between. Now, when you have like a high-end machine, like a high RTX card or something like that, you have overhead. That's what makes frame generation work, is the overhead that the machine has to dick around with stuff like that. Because the Steam Deck doesn't perform well in certain games because it's not powerful enough. So what you're suggesting we do is run a tool that sucks more CPU, APU, GPU time away from the Steam Deck's rendering of your game and have it make fake frames, because that somehow gives the illusion of it being smoother. It's not for me. I understand why people are trying to be insistent on it, but I find the whole thing a little disturbing. I've got a nice gaming rig, right? So I could stream from there if I want to. I've got GeForce Now. That's how I actually play like Arc Raiders. And sometimes I'll play Marvel Rivals that way, because even the latency that I get is minimal enough that I can play those games on that service without having to use frame gen. So anywho, so that's, I was actually going to do a whole video on lossless scaling, but I didn't want the vitriol, because there are people that will defend it to the death. And then if you go and look at Reddit proper, they'll tell you that it's all snake oil. And it on the Steam Deck, it kind of is. On a higher end machine, there are ways and reasons to use it, but I'll leave it at that. Where we were talking about that Pac-Man VR thing. What's up with that? Let me see if I can bring that guy up here. Now you got me all curious. What are we talking about here? Pac-Man VR. So what are we talking about here? That's some video or something on this guy? A virtual reality arcade game. Well, that's helpful. All right, so maybe I can at least get some video and see what we're talking about here. Gee, could I have slightly lower quality? My internet must be completely thrashed right now. That's got to be it. Okay. Okay, so you're playing Pac-Man like in a virtual arcade. Is that what we're talking about? Really? You're all excited about this? Because I'm not sure I'm back with this. I get the idea of wanting to play arcade games in VR, like what was it called? Was it called Virtual Arcade VR? There's one where you actually walk around an actual arcade, is this it? Where you actually walk around a virtual arcade and you can walk up to the games and play the game. That I kind of get, but I'm not sure what we're looking at here, bro. I am not sure what we're expecting. This just doesn't jump out to me. I don't know. Okay, so here's something else. Dude, I'm getting sick just watching the video. Then again, it is, like I said, I am, my system is not wanting to behave. I don't know what this 240p stuff is. But anyway, so yeah, I'm curious. Let me know more in the comments what that's about. That isn't showing at all? Well, give me a video. I'll bring it up. I want to understand. I want to get it. Forgotten reality. This guy looks like he might know what he's talking about. All right, let me see what we got going on here. This guy's going to give us his life's thing here. All right, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, yeah, history of virtual reality. I actually sat in one of these, by the way, virtualities. Yeah, that's how far back I go. Okay, so it's really hard to record virtual reality, right? I don't know. This guy's showing me the same thing, dude. Maybe I'm missing something bigger. I don't want to miss out, and I'll have a Steam frame. Don't worry, and you'll be able to help me understand what's up with that. So interesting. About this one, this any better? Video's not available. That's fun. Well, this was on PS5. Okay, so let's see. Maybe. Okay, so this guy's playing it in VR. There's got it. Let me see the other piece of this. Come on, give me the other thing. I don't know. They're showing me the same thing here, bro. I don't know. Yeah, find me a video. I'll look at it. I don't want to leave anything out, you know, while we're talking. Yeah, so for me, of course, it's all about Beat Saber, right? I miss Beat Saber a lot. Unfortunately, Facebook owns Beat Saber now, but I have no plan on giving them a single penny above and beyond buying the game stock. I'll be playing all custom maps and not buying their crap, so I miss Beat Saber. That's like the biggest VR thing that I miss. And Demio was kind of cool, right? For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, right? Beat Saber, baby. Let me see. Now, for those of you who have no clue what the hell I'm talking about, Beat Saber is like, this is worth buying a headset for, in my opinion, is just having Beat Saber. You slice blocks in half the way that the boxes tell you, dodge, no tuck and rolls, but don't hit this, hit those, chop them up, and it's all to like your favorite music. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, this is the biggest thing I miss with virtual reality is Beat Saber. Is this like a first-person version? No, same thing. Hang on. Let's see if I can find one that's got like first-person move. This looks like one that I might have shot. Yeah, so this is sort of the first-person view. And these things are coming at you frantically, and you're chopping the crap out of them to the music. It's something that you can't see on a video and understand. You have to get in there and actually do it. And if you play things on like 2x speed and you get some really high-end complicated maps, damn. I will tell you right now, it is crazy town. Let me see here. I have a couple of back in the day that I was supporting the crap out of them. Let's see. I'm trying to find the one that my son was playing that was crazy talk. That's weird. I thought I had more of these. I tried to work at maps, and I don't have that particular set of skills. What was this? This was Guardian crap. Nothing particularly interesting. And you need the music with it anyway, so. Yeah, anywho. So yeah, that's what I miss. That's what I'm looking forward to. And of course, watching 3D movies. Big VR, that was the thing, right? Big VR was the movie watching thing. Yeah, big screen VR. Big screen VR. There's Nacy. So I do miss that. But yeah, I'm just there's like nothing else I'm just pining away for, so we shall see. But yeah, I am definitely excited about this. I'm excited to have the tetherless experience, the standalone experience, and all tied to Steam. That's all I've ever wanted. That's all I've ever wanted was to have handhelds and VR and portals or frames, get it, into my Steam library. I don't want anybody else's ecosystem. I don't want Facebook's probing my anus. I don't want any of that stuff. I just want Steam. Just want Steam. Just for fun. Let's see here. You know what I do miss? I take that back. What's that game that was? Of course, it's been bought and owned by Facebook, so it won't be on Steam again. But let's see here. I remember the name of the game off the top of my head. No. What the hell's the name of that game? Somebody help me out here. What's the name of that game that I like? I can't type to save my life. Best archery games. No, let's see. What do they show on there? This list here. In Death. I love this game. And they made a new version of it that you can only play on freaking Facebook's headset. I love this stuff, man. Running around, shooting these guys from, like, you shoot them from like halfway across the map. Love that stuff. It was great. So much fun. Very atmospheric and scary. You run around a corner and there's some dude sitting there. Beats the crap out of you. Yeah. Yeah, I miss that. I do. That's fun. That's fun. Pistol Whip's fun. You know what I find about Pistol Whip, though, that kind of bothers me? Well, first off, any rhythm game that you're actually playing, like, should have music that you love and know, right? Well, like, nobody really got around to making a sort of custom map editor for Pistol Whip. And honestly, like, if you don't know the music, unless you listen to it like 100 times, you can't really vibe with it. And rhythm games are all about vibing, right? You got to vibe with the music. You know, you're sitting here playing and you're bopping your head while you're playing, and it's like bam, 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 right? So you got to get this rhythm going. And I swear to God, maybe it was just my headset, but I'll tell you, it never was quite perfectly in sync. So it's very frustrating. So you start off maybe getting a little groove on, you're starting to do pretty well, and then all of a sudden it's sort of off and you're trying to compensate. And instead of actually playing the game, you're fighting the game, and nobody likes that. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's some fun stuff in VR, man. I'll tell you. And this Demio is probably like one of the top things that my friends and I played. And now they've got a D&D version of it, of course, now. Let me open this up a little bit. Now they've got like a Dungeons and Dragons sanctioned version of it now. But yeah, it's basically like a turn-based, board game where your pieces kick each other's asses. And you got all these spells, and it's great because you can literally sort of like move all over the map. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. I don't know if they're going to do a good job of showing you that, but yeah, I mean, look at that. You can get right up close, you can get far away, you can get a lay of the land, and you can play with your buddies, and it's, co-op against the environment. A lot of fun. I mean, this is something that I definitely miss for sure. So that's something I'll be happy to play again. Some company's supposed to be remastering. Okay, I got you. Hey, Leo. Can I tell the people we have royalty in the house, Leo? Yeah, Leo's part of the Directory Opus project, of which I am a huge fan, and am constantly. I'm probably due for a new Directory Opus tutorial. I try to spread them out a little bit, but yeah. Yeah, it's you know what, Leo, it's funny, like this game here, you could literally sit in a chair and play. You don't have to play like you don't have to play like Pistol Whip, but I'll tell you what, nothing got me up and moving like Beat Saber. So what was the other game we were talking about in VR the other day? That walkabout mini golf. That's another one. This is another one that's like ridiculously addictive. And my friends and I, we used to just sit for hours at night and play on this. It's basically mini golf, right? And it's all in VR. And now I think there's like 5 more courses than there used to be, and you could play pretty much anywhere. I don't know. It was a lot of fun. So I guess there's more fun in VR than I remembered. But yep, I am ready to make the plunge again. I will go one last time into VR, hoping that Valve gets it right and doesn't piss me off. Because that's what we're talking about, right? Not pissing me off. Holy crap, the chat's lagging by 5 minutes? Oh, wait a minute, I got top chat. God, they keep changing that. Okay, there we go. Now it's back to live chat. I don't know why. Like, I've had to reset like 5 or 6 times earlier, so, yeah, so now it shouldn't be lagging anymore, Leo. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Hey, Alex J. Lopez is here. Let's do some shout outs. Javier's here late. Oh, you're only like 40 minutes late, bro. Plus, I had like 10 or 15 minutes of nonsense that I had to deal with. So, yeah. So, hey, it's nice to have people here now. It's we take what we get. All right. So yeah, I'm excited to take one more stab at it. Oh, let's see here. How we doing? 11 people watching. That's good. People, I know a lot of people had to work today, right? So there's probably people working right now. I probably picked a poor time to do it, but I knew my wife was down for a little nap-a-doodle-doo. So this to me is the perfect time to do this sort of thing. So, yep. I am excited one more time. But you know what I'm really excited about? I know this is dumb. I want my Steam Deck controller for the PC, man. I am jonesing like a heroin addict, wanting to get my hands on this thing. I'm hoping I can get on some sort of a list or something. And I mean, I know they're not going to send me a Steam frame or a Steam machine for free, but maybe I can get one of these guys and be able to do some early access banging on it. We'll see, though. I have a weird feeling that they're going to kind of group them all together and tie them all at once. So probably not going to happen. But, what do they say? Hope springs eternal. So I got that. OG Vive Plus. Wow, dude, that's crazy. What's the latency like on that guy? I know the wireless kit was supposed to be like really good, but I don't know what really good back then versus now is. But yeah, I remember evaluating that. I was looking at that. I ended up with the Index. Yeah, that's. But yeah, no wireless there, right? So great headset, comfortable as hell. Maybe not as fun for Beat Saber with the wire on your head, but at least Facebook wasn't recording my biometrics 24/7 on there. So how's the chat doing? Is it less laggy now? We got the live chat up there. I was hoping we have some Steam Deck questions, or somebody wanted to yap about Arc Raiders or something. I mean, that's what I've been doing, is playing stupid Arc Raiders forever. A lot of fun. It's starting to get some sweaty people in it. So it's one of those games where like it used to be like 99% of the time, if you went to the surface, that another human wasn't going to snipe you. But unfortunately, the numbers are dropping a little bit. They're actually making a website now where you can report people who are not, shall we say, cozy players, that are sweaty players. So that's kind of cool. That's something. Yeah, I buy that. So, yeah, you can see it on the chat. Leo's talking about the latency. Yeah, what I'm really excited about with regards to this, with the new frame, of course, and I've talked about this on some of the shows, is this foveated rendering. Oh, excuse me. It's not new. PlayStation VR, as well as some of Facebook's crap, does it, but it's dependent on the developer. The developer has to implement it in game. This is going to be done in the layer in between. So every game is foveated rendering, and I'm really excited about that. Because if you've ever been inside of VR, I guess I just realized I turned off my browser. I just expect you guys are all seeing the same crap. Yeah, so this foveated rendering is like the real deal. Apparently, according to everybody who's had their hands on it, Because in VR you have there's 3 or 4 elements of VR that this is important to, right? So you've got your field of view. So when you're staring straight ahead, how far in your peripherals can you see, right? And just human eyesight, right? Your brain literally decreases the information importance of stuff that's not directly in your eye line. So that's why things kind of look fuzzy to the side, right? Your brain says, like this over here, it says, you don't need to be looking at that. I am processing what you're showing me right now. And so that's exactly how this works. So that's kind of cool. And then you've also got like the fall off of VR. You've got in the older VR non-pancake lenses, they have that curvature that also actually makes it better if you can't see things as clearly, because then you won't notice them distorted on your outer edge of view. So all sorts of cool stuff. I'm excited to see that working as a low-level process, if that makes sense, right? It's going to be something that's like totally built into the product, in its infrastructure, so that's cool. So, yeah, for me, a lot of the streaming problems with VR had to do with image quality, crushed blacks, latency, right? We talked about latency earlier on. I'm not a fan of any of that. And then, of course, in VR, any of that sort of nonsense that shows up, that causes, for me anyway, and I know a lot of people from spending a lot of time on Quest's Reddit, when you start dropping frames, losing frames, or anything of that nature, whether you can see them or not, it affects like your inner ear processing. And so, if the frames aren't keeping up, or they drop enough, that's when you start getting motion sickness. So, I'm hoping that that's something that is easily tidied over with all this stuff. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, Alex. One of the biggest problems that I saw back in the day. Now, listen, I begrudgingly got a Quest 2. It's in a box, in a lead-lined box, so that Facebook can't get out of it. But my son has the original Quest, and with all of the early streaming, even with virtual desktop, which was pretty much the ipso de facto, it wasn't good enough. And what people ended up doing was they didn't want to play the Android games that were on the headset. They wanted to play big boy games that are on the PC, and they're willing to trade, right? Just like the Steam Deck, right? You're willing to trade. You're willing to trade fidelity, screen resolution, watery textures. You're willing to trade to play a AAA game on a handheld that costs, I think it's isn't it on sale right now for some ridiculous price? The old one, right? The LCD model. I think it's on sale. I just don't know what they were charging for it, but it's dirt cheap. I still wouldn't recommend the LCD. There's so many good reasons why you don't want the. Oh, here we go. So the LCD is $319. Man, that is a pretty big price jump, though. Damn. Yeah, I don't know. There's 5 really solid reasons why the OLED is a better buy, and not just the bigger screen, the better screen, the 30% better battery life, right? I mean, you could just keep. It's the sum of its parts, right? It's the sum of all the good stuff of the OLED that really makes the difference. But damn, $319's almost an impulse buy, so that's kind of cool. Let me see. Bring the chat back up. It's on sale for $250. Why is it wrong here? Hang on. Let me go to Yeah, when you're talking $250, that's just ridiculous cash right there. Let me see. I don't know. Why am I still? Am I looking? What am I doing wrong here? What am I seeing? You're seeing $250 somewhere? I'm not seeing that. That would be a crazy deal. Oh, the Quest. Yeah, screw that. Who cares? No. I was talking about the Steam Deck. Yeah. What a device. What a device. Definitely changed the way things work. Yeah, but I do think so. I think, Alex, that this is going to VR has finally come of age, where you get it all without the probe, right? Without the DNA probe. That's all I wanted, man. That's all I wanted from the beginning. But we'll see. We shall see. Yeah. Unbelievable. I actually had that. I was going to talk about that. I actually had I had something up just in case nobody wanted to talk about anything. I was just going to vamp. And yeah, I mean, this is absolutely freaking ridiculous. And our buddies, our AI buddies, are completely at fault for this. And much like the crypto mining nonsense with graphics cards, I'm assuming that at some point that this will drop off here at some point. But you're talking about 32 gigs of memory, cost $130 when the guy bought it. This is at The Verge. Now it's $440. They won't even put prices on memory anymore. Remember in the old days, for those of you who go back this far, like you could look at the back of a magazine and it would have like the hottest items. Like I remember like the Amiga 4000 was like this, or the video toaster. They were selling them, but they wouldn't give a price. And right where in the little spot where it said price, it said call. They would not divulge the prices of these products. Whether because they were too high or they didn't want their competition seeing what they were pricing them as. But I definitely remember when the age where they would not reveal how much stuff cost, usually because of the sticker shock price of it. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. So it's pretty ridiculous. I don't even know. I don't even know like what we're going to do with this nonsense. It's invading everything. I ranted about that on PSR if you want more information about my feelings on AI. I like it as a general tool, but damn, people have lost their minds. Man, everyone is looking to be the leader of the next big thing, right? They did it with crypto. They did it with Web3. They did it with NFTs. Everybody wants to be first and best so that if it takes, they're making a gajillion dollars. So, right. Well, yeah. Anybody got anything else to talk about? I was expecting like some Q&A, but you know what? After the failed attempts and the failed launches at the beginning, I wouldn't blame anybody for not coming back. So maybe we'll try this again another time, and we can set up, actually have it more than an hour before the show starts. Yeah. So, well, anybody got anything else to talk about? I mean, I usually come prepared with some stuff. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I did finally, by the way, those who are following along, I did finally get the GeForce Now storage stuff. Yeah, the persistent storage. If you watch the video on GeForce Now's install to play, I did finally actually get to purchase persistent storage, and just nutty stuff. It might be easier with a mouse here. Hang on. Trade my controller. Yeah, so for those of you who missed out, right? So when you use, let me see if I can bring this up. You don't need to see my ugly mug. This is probably more important. So when you use GeForce Now and you go to stream game X or game Y, essentially, like if you were to stream Arc Raiders, for example, there is a sort of shared virtual machine that's already set up, or it's procured when you ask for the game. And when it runs, for those, let me just pop it up here so you guys can see it. So when you run it, it does your network analysis, and it goes and it procures you a rig, right? So the more you pay, the faster this is to some extent. So right now what it's doing is it's spinning up a virtual PC for your use. And it's going to drop you right into Steam and then auto launch Arc Raiders. And the second you're done with this session and you leave, so it's all every single, see, so it only shows you a version of Steam that has the game that you're launching on it, Arc Raiders. And so every time that you go to play the game, it's got to procure you a shared type machine for this thing. So this is the ready to play. So they've got a machine, they vet the crap out of it, they keep it patched, they keep it updated, and to you and me, it's invisible, right? It just plays Arc Raiders. That's it. With the other, though, install to play, you're actually buying storage on a dedicated PC of your own. So to speak. It's not really yours, but you have a dedicated, isolated PC that when you go in to run your games, the games are actually already installed. Now, the nice thing about this is that means you have one machine that has, you could have a ton of games installed on it. And if you wanted to flip between games, like right now, we're still like waiting for Arc Raiders to come up. What if I said, I'm going to play Marvel Rivals instead, right? So you would have to shut this machine down, go back to the main GeForce Now interface, and launch it again, right? So then you have to launch the new game and all this other stuff, right? So, I mean, that's how it works. With the install to play, you're literally installing things on a single machine, and you can run them, exit them, blah, 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 over and over again, right? So now we're finally into Arc Raiders, and if we wanted to get out, we would leave, and we would leave this virtual machine, and it would shut it down, it would spin us up a new machine, yada, yada, yada. So in this case, let me see if I remember how to get out of this thing. Hang on. I do have a keyboard, so. Okay, exit. All right, so I exit the game, and then it actually shuts down that whole machine and puts me back at the GeForce menu. So, come on, hurry up. So slow. I could have just quit GeForce Now and been done faster, probably. Oh, I'm sorry. You're driving home from work? Yeah, I know. It's just, it was sort of not necessarily the best possible time. So let me show you real quick. Let me move this guy out of the way a little bit. Get out of there. So now if I say see all in my library, and I can filter on the type of course, my head's in the way. There we go. So install to play. So you can see what's installed and what's not installed. So now I can see, so all of these games are sitting right now on my persistent storage on a drive out in NVIDIA's cloud. Now, what do you not see here? You don't see Marvel Rivals. You don't see Arc Raiders, because the only things that they allow you to have that level of access to are some more indie titles. So if I uncheck my library, and now we're just looking at those, let's see, what's it called? Is it under features? No. Not installed. So these are the games that they will let you install. And you're not seeing probably a ton of those heavy AAA games in here, right? Lots of, I'm not saying there's no good games in here. Heavens forbid. I mean, Call of Juarez is an amazing game. But you can actually sort of have your own sort of private PC in the cloud. And if you go in, let me say, let me go back to installed. So if I go in and say play Dangerous Golf, now instead of them setting up a special machine and all that for this particular game, it's going to boot me into like my little PC here. And then you can see like all of my games that you saw on that list a moment ago are all pre-installed, and I could flip back and forth between them without actually shutting the machine down, going back to GeForce Now and setting it back up. This is kind of cool. All right, so now it's gonna boot your machine. Now, one of the cool things about this is you have some control over the game. So if a game has workshop mods or something like that, you could actually use those here. Now, you don't get access to the operating system, right? So you can't. Let me see if I can. I can't see. Let me back out. Oh, there we go. Let me back out. All right, so now if I go to my menu and I take a look at what's in my library, all of these games are installed on my persistent storage. So I got 11 games installed, and I can just flip back and forth between them anytime I feel like it while I'm in this remote session. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a shame it can't hibernate. I mean, that would be great, but I can't imagine what the expenditure. They'd charge you out the ass for something like that, I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, GeForce Now has come a long way. I mean, I was back in 2014? Was it that far back? That doesn't seem right. 2017? They had something called NVIDIA Grid. It was like a super early alpha beta version of what GeForce Now is. And I was lucky enough. I have somebody inside NVIDIA that sort of got me hooked up, and I was able to take a peek at that early. And I'm like, man, is this the future? I hope not, because I'm into ownership. But is it ever going to get good enough? And then you had Stadia come and go, and even GeForce Now. I think GeForce Now is getting pretty close. Like if I'm in my living room and I'm on my Steam Deck and I want to play Marvel Rivals or say Arc Raiders, I'll hop on GeForce Now and do it, because I'll trade any sort of latency from the service in exchange for the higher resolution graphics and more stable frame rate, right? So it's up to everybody. Let me move this back on here. Yeah. Leo says the good part is if the GPU power connectors catch fire, then it burns somebody else's place down, not yours. Isn't that a crazy story? Like, I don't think we hear about stuff like that enough. You know, we all heard about the Samsung bulge, and back in the Shield tablet days, remember that? And the Shield tablet would like just start expanding, and it was like this thick by the end of it because of the battery. That's something I'm really excited about. Like, we don't get too many of those, right? Like life-altering things. I mean, you could call AI or the internet changed everything, right? But we've been basically with the same battery technology for what? 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, right? We haven't been able to find a battery that we could reverse engineer on one of these captured alien aircrafts. We can't reverse engineer a decent battery. I don't get it. We can get fiber optics from the UFOs, but we can't get a damn battery. But yeah, there's I'm trying to get something up here real quick. So there's a technology called solid state batteries, and it changes everything, right? It's going to be cheaper, faster, much safer. It's not going to, it doesn't have the potential to catch fire. There's all sorts of crazy stuff in there, but it's one of those things where is it another industry like, coal or oil or something where even if it exists, we're never going to get it, right? Somebody's going to bury that stuff at the door. But it sounds a lot like they're getting really close to it. And pretty much everything that's wrong with batteries now, fixed with this. Are they sodium batteries? Is that what I remember? Hang on a second. I was trying to find something interesting here. Sodium ion battery. I think that's what they're called. Sodium ions. Nutty stuff here. Let me see here. Let me share that browser instance. Yeah. They degrade more slowly. They operate more efficiency. They don't blow up in your hand, right? But yeah, I mean, they're getting close on this stuff to make it affordable and all this stuff. It's yeah. I mean, this is really neat. I'm actually excited about a battery tech. That's how old I'm getting, But yeah, they're getting close. They're getting close to that. Well, I wanted to be on for about an hour, and I guess I've been on for about an hour. So last call. Anybody wants to talk about anything? We still have a couple of minutes. Very quiet. Quiet out there. I mean, I know some of you are watching. Yeah, maybe I need to be a little more specific, right? Maybe I need to, I expected somebody to come in and want to talk about SSHFS or, talk about sim linking, centralized gaming storage. Tons of people ask questions and comments on YouTube, but again, like I said, people are just now getting off of work in some cases. So we will plan another one of these if people liked it. So, anywho. All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up then. Oh, Mr. FPGA. I love the concept. I don't own one. I love the concept of FPGA. I really do. I think it's really cool. The idea of hardware level recreation, not emulation. I think it's amazing. I don't own one, honestly, because very expensive. Very expensive. But yeah, I'm excited and interested. I'm interested in FPGA when it gets a little cheaper, when it's more accessible. Use any light guns? I have not. I keep getting ads about them, and I'm interested. But yeah, not so far. The best that I've come up with is using Wii remotes or Wiimotes for light guns. Works pretty good, actually. But yeah, for like a real, like one of those, what are they called? Begins with an S. Supposedly that's like industry standard light gun gaming. But I've not been fortunate enough to get my hands on something to try with regards to that. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for joining who did. I appreciate you guys. If you guys liked it, leave some comments so other people who see this later can decide whether they may want to watch the next one. And maybe next time I'll have a little bit bigger list of pre-canned stuff that we can go over and talk about. So, again, listen, it's a very exciting time coming up, right? Like the end of Q1 is going to be crazy with the Steam machine and the Steam frame and the controller and all this other crazy nonsense. The new Commodore 64 that I managed to get my order in early enough, I should see before Christmas. And there's your FPGA. That'll be my first FPGA product right there. Will be the new Commodore. So I'm dying to see how that works out. Is it going to be as good as they say? I've got so many tests to run. I've got so much software. I've got real hardware to plug into it. So we're going to have a really good time for those of you who are into the Commodore 64 stuff. The first new official Commodore 64 to hit the shelves in like 40 years. So it'll all be fun. Yeah, the 1200 Maxi's coming. It's a fun time to be in tech. Unless you need memory or, unless you need memory, and then you're screwed. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care. I am Shane R. Monroe. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you next